आवाज येतोय माझा? आवाज येतोय का माझा? ओके. So still we are dealing with environment and health. We have seen about water and water pollution. We have seen air and air pollution. We have also seen about light and light pollution. Now we'll see about noise and noise pollution. How noise affects our health, we're going to see. So first of all, what is noise? WHO has given definition. Noise is a unwanted sound. Noise is unwanted sound emitted from all sources except at industrial workplace. Noise is unwanted sound emitted from all sources except at industrial workplace. WHO stated that noise must be recognized as a major threat to human well-being. It is an underrated environmental problem because of the fact that we can't see, we can't smell, or we can't taste it. So it is underrated environmental problem. We are not more concentrating on it because we cannot see it, we cannot smell it or taste it. So it is very underrated, but it is very important. So proper definition is wrong sound in the wrong place and in wrong time. Noise is wrong sound in the wrong place in wrong time. In the 20th century, it is described as a century of noise. Also, noise pollution describes variety of noise produced in the modern era lead to very important stress factor. Why this wrong place and wrong time is used? Because sometimes one person feels that it is a wrong sound, but other person feels that it is correct. So it is mentioned that wrong sound in the wrong place and in wrong time. Then what are the sources of noise pollution? First and important is transportation system are the main source of noise pollution, mainly in urban areas. Other sources like factories, industries, aircrafts, railway junctions, bus terminals, radio, television, water motor pump, also war fields, festival crackers, and blowhorns. These are the sources of noise. Transportation system, factories, industries, aircraft, railway junction, bus terminals, radio, television, water motor pumps, war fields, festival crackers, and blowing the horns. These are the sources of noise. Then what are the properties of the noise? So first property is loudness or intensity of the noise. Loudness or intensity of noise. And second property is frequency of noise. So first is loudness. Loudness is the amplitude of vibration which initiated the sound. Loudness or intensity is amplitude of vibration which initiated the sound. It is measured in decibels. dB, decibel. Loudness is measured in decibel. The standard unit of sound pressure is Pascal. There are different units of sound. First is decibel, Pascal, dynes per centimeter square, or the frequency is measured in hertz. So there are different units. So standard unit of sound pressure is Pascal and 20 micropascal is 0 decibel and 0.20 micropascal is equal to 0 decibel equals to 0.0002 microbar or dynes per centimeter square. It is very difficult to remember and the dyne is 1 upon 10 lakh of atmospheric pressure. You just remember loudness is measured in decibel. 2 marks question, what is noise and how it is measured. Then here are some common decibel levels. Which is the normal limit of noise which we can hear? Can anyone say? Can anyone answer? What is the normal level in decibel? Yes. Okay. So here are some common decibel levels. We'll start from below. 40 decibel is the sound of raindrops or in the quiet room. 60 decibel is normal conversation or the sound of cloth dryer. 85 decibel, it is the sound of busy city traffic or of vacuum cleaner. 90 decibel, it is of hair dryer or 90 decibel is the sound of hair dryer. 105 decibel, it is the sound of rock concert, rock concert or of helicopter. 110 decibel, it is the sound of chainsaw or airport. 115 decibel, it is the sound of baby crying. 115 decibel. Also sound of iPod at peak volume. 120 decibel, it is car horn almost of 1 meter or jackhammer. 140 decibel, it is the sound of gunshot or fireworks or airplane takeoff. So hearing threshold of pain is 130 decibel. Means hearing threshold of pain means at the 130 decibel we will have pain in our ears. So The threshold of pain hearing is 130 decibel, and normal sound should be up to 85 decibel, which have we can hear normally. Here are other examples also. The breathing sound is 10 decibel, rustling of leaves is 20 decibel, whispering sound is 30 decibel, the sound of refrigerator is 40 decibel, and here are number of examples. Then second property of noise is frequency of the noise. So frequency of the noise is measured in hertz. 1 hertz is equal to 1 wave per second. 1 hertz is equal to 1 wave of noise per second. And audible frequency is 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. We can hear from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. What is frequency? It is the measured in hertz, and 1 hertz is equal to 1 wave of noise per second. How loud is too loud? So accepted maximum level of noise is 85 decibel, which we can bear. You have seen this. It is represented in chart only. What government research suggested that the safe exposure limit is 85 decibel for 8 hours per day. Your hearing could be at risk of damage if you are continuously exposed to high volume sounds. So accepted maximum level of noise is 85 decibel, which we can bear. Then what is community noise equivalent level? That is CNEL, community noise equivalent level. It is weighted average of noise level over a time. CNEL is a weighted average of noise level over the time. It is used to compare the noisiness of neighborhoods. So it is frequently used in regulation of airport noise impact on surrounding community. And if it is exceeding 60 decibel, is generally considered unacceptable for residential neighborhood. So CNEL, it should be less than 60 decibel. Community noise equivalent level should be less than 60 decibel. Then these are standard acceptable noise levels. So in residential area, in bedroom, 25 decibel sound level is accepted. In living room, 40 decibel. In the commercial places, in office, 35 to 45 decibel. In conference room, 40 to 45 decibel. In restaurants, 40 to 60 decibel. In industrial areas, in the workshop, 40 to 60 decibel sound level is accepted. In laboratory, 40 to 50 decibel. In educational area, in classroom, 35 to 40 decibel noise accepted. In library, 30 to 40 decibel. In hospitals, 20 to 35 decibel of noise level is accepted. These are standard levels. Then what are instruments used for measuring the sound? That is sound level meter, which measures the intensity in decibel. Sound level meter, it measures the intensity in decibel. Then octave band frequency analyzer. It measures the noise in octave bands. Then audiometer. It measures the hearing ability. So these are the instruments which are useful in measuring the noise levels. It is sound level meter, octave band frequency analyzer, and audiometer. Also there are some sound measuring instruments, other sound measuring instruments, that is conventional sound level meter. All are measuring intensity of sound only. Conventional sound level meter, integrating averaging sound level meter, and integrating sound level meter. Then what are the effects of noise exposure? Effects of noise pollution. First is auditory effect and second is non-auditory effect. The words itself suggest auditory means which interferes with our hearing and non-auditory means other than hearing. So what are auditory effects? So first one is auditory fatigue, temporary shift of auditory threshold is known as temporary threshold shift. Means for temporary period of time we are not able to hear or our ears are become fatigued. So temporary shift of this auditory threshold is known as temporary threshold shift. It appears in the 90 decibel region and greatest as 4000 Hz. And it is represented as whistling and buzzing sound in ears. So we have seen that till 85 decibel we can hear or we can bear the noise levels. But if that are more than 85 decibel, that is if only 90 decibel also or greater than 4000 Hz, then it has temporary threshold shift and it is shown by whistling and buzzing sound in ears. And this full recovery from TTS, that is temporary threshold shift, can be achieved in 2 to 10 minutes. Means it is reversible. Then deafness, second auditory effect is deafness. The most serious pathological effect is deafness. Temporary hearing loss is due to specific exposure to noise which become normal after a period of 24 hours, and it is mainly due to if sound levels are more than 4000 Hz to 6000 Hz. Frequency of sound if more than 4000 to 6000 Hz. And if permanent hearing loss, if there is a noise level more than 100 decibel. Permanent hearing loss is due to repeated or continuous exposure to 100 decibel noise, or minor changes or complete destruction of organ of corti, neuronal damage can occur. If the noise levels are more than 100 decibel, there can be minor changes or complete destruction of organ of corti, neuronal damage can occur. These are the organs of hearing. If this permanent hearing loss happens in industries, it is called as occupational hearing loss. An exposure to 160 decibel will rupture the tympanic membrane. If the noise level is more than 160 decibel, it will rupture the tympanic membrane. Then what are non-auditory effects? Non-auditory effects, it interfere with speech, like due to radio, music, television and other noises. The noise interfere with speech communication. It is mainly of 300 to 500 hertz. And for good speech, the sound in decibel is need to be 12 decibel. For normal conversation, the sound level should be 12 decibel. If it is more than that, it interferes with speech. Second one, annoyance. The psychological response like feeling of displeasure. Neurotic people are more sensitive to noise. They feel displeasure or sometimes they feel angry or feeling of depression, or in some people there is a panic attack due to noise. The workmen exposed to higher intensity of noise will have irritation, short temperedness or impatient, or they become impatient. It can also cause memory loss, severe depression and panic attacks. So non-auditory effects, it can cause feeling of displeasure, it can make people irritated, short-tempered or impatient, or it can also cause memory loss, severe depression and panic attacks. Then it can also reduce efficacy. So if we reduce the noise, it will increase the outcome of work. So due to excessive noise or due to noise pollution, there can be reduced efficacy of work. Then physiological changes. Startle and defense reaction leading to potential increase of blood pressure. So due to noise pollution, there can be increase of blood pressure. Also increase in heart rate, increase intracranial pressure, it increases breathing, it causes sweating. In some people there is a giddiness, nausea, fatigue, sleep disturbance, visual disturbance. So physiological changes like increasing blood pressure, increase heart rate, increase intracranial pressure, increase breathing, increase sweating, giddiness, nausea, fatigue, sleep disturbance, visual disturbance, and it also causes some economic losses. Then these are effects on human beings. And what are effects on other animals or other living things? Like it can be felt on animals, birds, mice, fishes, and domestic animals. For they are susceptible to various effects of due to exposure to noise level changes, they change their places. Due to excessive noise levels, The animals, birds, they change their places. Also, birds avoids migrating to the places where noise levels are more than 100 decibels. The noise emissions caused by supersonic aircraft or railway noise emissions, etc., may cause miscarriages in mammals and fishes. So these are the effects on animals. Then what are the effects on non-living things? High intensity explosion can break the glass pans and vibrations in the buildings. High intensity explosions can break the glass pans and can cause vibrations in the buildings. Also, noise booms can cause the cracks in national and archaeological monuments, as well as very high levels of noise can cause cracks in the hills also. So these are effects on non-living things. It can break the glass pans or can vibrate the buildings, or it can cause cracks in national and archaeological monuments, and also can cause cracks in the hills. This is the pyramid of noise given by WHO. You can see number of people affected, and on y-axis there is a severity. So this is the pyramid. At the base there is only feeling of discomfort, that is disturbance, annoyance, sleep disturbance. Then second level is stress indicators like autonomous responses, stress hormones releasing. Then next is the persons who are having risk factors like blood pressure, cholesterol, blood clotting, or diabetes, they are at risk. Then above that, the diseases like insomnia and cardiovascular diseases, and the last triangle is mortality. So due to excessive noise, there can be death of persons. Then how to control this noise? So first is careful planning of cities, that is division of cities into separate zones. Planting bushes and trees in and around sound generating sources is an effective solution for noise pollution. So trees should be planted to decrease the effect of noise pollution, or widening of main streets to reduce the noise penetration. Widening of main streets to reduce the noise penetration. Second is control of vehicles. Heavy vehicles should not be allowed in residential area. Pressure horn should be prohibited. Third is traffic should be reduced. Regular servicing and tuning of automobiles can effectively reduce the noise pollution. So second main way of control of noise pollution is control of vehicles. Heavy vehicles should not be allowed in residential area. Pressure horn should be prohibited. Traffic should be reduced. Regular servicing and tuning of automobiles can reduce the noise pollution. Third way is improve the acoustic insulation of buildings. That is construction of detached building and also soundproof rooms. Fourth way is industries and railways. So control of noise at source. Protective green belt must be laid, means plantation of trees. or marshalling yards. The next one is protection of exposed person. So ear protection should be provided in all persons who are exposing more than 85 decibels and of more than 150 hertz. Periodical audiogram checkup should be done. Use of ear plugs and ear muffs should be done. Then legislation. Many states have adopted legislation like Chhattisgarh government bans use of firecrackers with high decibel level. So legislation should be there. And there are some legislation like Central Pollution Control Board constituted Committee on Noise Pollution Control. This committee recommends noise standards for ambient air and for automobiles, domestic appliances, construction equipments, and these are notified in Environment Rules 1986. We have seen the standard levels of the sound levels, and they have given levels. They have given that silence zone is referred as an area up to 100 meters around premises like hospital, educational institution and courts. These areas should be referred as silent zone. Also use of vehicular horns, loudspeakers, bursting of crackers shall be banned in these zones. Then these are public address system. So for use of loudspeakers, there should be license. Loudspeakers should not be used at a night between 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. except in closed premises. Loudspeakers should be directed at the audience, not away from the audience. These are normal rules. And loudspeakers should not be more than 5 decibel sound. Then aircraft operations. Aerodrome should be located away from the city. So there, the workers which are working there, they should use earmuffs and silencers should be provided in the planes. Then burning of crackers. So manufacture and sale of cracker having an impulsive noise of more than 90 decibel at 5 meters. Manufacture and sale of crackers having an impulsive noise of more than 90 decibels at 5-meter distance from the site of bursting should be banned. Manufacture and bursting of joint crackers should be banned. Bursting of crackers during night between 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. should be banned. And these are permitted only during public festivals. Then there are criminal procedure code and noise controls also. There should be awareness programs for education. So, thank you. So, we'll revise in short noise pollution. So, first of all, what is noise? Noise is an unwanted sound emitted from all sources except at industrial workplace. WHO stated that noise must be recognized as a major threat to human well-being. It is an underrated environmental problem because of the fact that we can't see, smell or taste it. But it is very important environmental problem. Wrong sound in the wrong place in wrong time. It is called as noise. The 20th century is described as a century of noise. Noise pollution describes variety of noise produced in the modern era, which lead to very important stress factors. And what are the sources of noise? First is transportation system, which is the main source of noise pollution in urban areas. Also, other sources like factories, industries, aircrafts, railway junction, bus terminals, radio, television, water motor pump, war fields, festival crackers, and blowing the horns. These are the sources of noise like transportation system, factories, industries, aircrafts, railway junctions, bus terminals, radio, television, water motor pumps, war fields, festival crackers, and blowing the horns. Then, what are the properties of noise? There are main two properties of noise. First is loudness or intensity of noise, and second is frequency of noise. So, loudness is the amplitude of the vibration which initiated the sound. Amplitude of the vibration which initiated the sound. Loudness is measured in a decibel. Here are some common decibel levels which we have seen. That is 40 decibel like raindrop and quiet room. 60 decibel is of normal conversation or sound of cloth dryer. 85 decibel is the busy city traffic and vacuum cleaner. 90 decibel is the sound of hair dryer, lawn over. 105 decibel is the rock concert or sound of helicopter. 110 decibel is the sound of airport. 115 decibel is sound of baby crying. 120 decibel is the car horn. 140 decibel is sound of gunshot. Hearing threshold of pain is 130 decibel. Means after 130 decibel, we can have the pain in our ears. Then second property of the sound is frequency, which is measured in hertz. 1 hertz is equal to 1 wave of sound per second. The audible frequency is from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. The sound which have below 20 hertz we cannot hear. So how loud is too loud? The government research suggests that the safe exposure limit is 85 decibel for 8 hours per day. Your hearing could be at risk of damage if you are continuously exposed to high volume sounds. So accepted maximum level of sound is 85 decibel, which we can bear. And community noise equivalent level, it is the weighted average of noise level over a time, and it is used to compare the noisiness of neighborhoods. CNEL is frequently used in regulation of airport noise impact on the surrounding community. If CNEL is exceeding 60 decibel, it is generally considered as unacceptable for residential neighborhood. Then acceptable noise levels. These are standard noise levels, like in a residential area, in bedroom, the sound level should be 25. In living room, it should be 40. In commercial areas, the sound level at office, it should be 35 to 45 decibel. In conference room, 40 to 45 decibel. In restaurants, it should be 40 to 60 decibel, and so on. And there are some instruments which are used to measure the sound levels. So first is sound level meter, which measures the intensity of sound and which is in decibel. Then there is a octave band frequency analyzer to analyze the frequency of sound. Then audiometer, which measures the hearing ability. Then there are three kinds of sound level meter, that is conventional sound level meter, integrating average sound level meter, and third is integrating sound level meter. Then what are the effects of noise exposure? There are two types of effects, auditory effect and non-auditory effect. Auditory effects. First is auditory fatigue. The temporary shift of auditory threshold, it is known as temporary threshold shift. It appears in the 90 decibel region and the place where there is a frequency more than 4000 Hz. It is shown by whistling and buzzing sound in ears. The full recovery from TTS, that is temporary threshold shift, can be achieved in approximately 2 to 10 minutes. That it is temporary effect. It is reversible effect. Deafness, it is the most serious pathological effect. The temporary hearing loss is due to specific exposure to noise, which becomes normal after a period of 24 hours. And it can happen if the sound is more than 4000 Hz to 6000 Hz. Then there may be permanent hearing loss is due to repeated or continuous exposure to 100 decibel noise. There is permanent hearing loss if there is a repeated or continuous exposure to 100 decibel of noise. Or due to that, there may be minor changes or complete destruction of organ of corti, and also it can cause neuronal damage. If this permanent hearing loss happens in industries, it is called as occupational hearing loss. Exposure to 160 decibel will rupture the tympanic membrane. So these are auditory effects. So effects on ears, effects on hearing. Then what are non-auditory effects? First effect is interference with speech. It can be due to radio, music, television and some other sounds. Noise interfere with speech communication. It, it may be 300 to 500 Hz. So for good speech, intelligible speech, sound decibel need to be increased by 12 decibels. Then annoyance, it is the psychological response, feeling of displeasure. In neurotic people, these peoples are very sensitive for noise. Workmen exposed to higher intensity of noise will have the irritation, short temperedness, and impatience. Noise impulses are more annoying than the steady noises. It can also cause memory loss, severe depression, and it can also cause panic attack. Then it can also affect the efficacy of work. So reduction in noise is always found to increase outcome of the work. So due to noise, there may be reduction in efficacy of work. Then some physiological changes also happens like startling and defense reaction leading to potential increase of blood pressure, increase heart rate, increase intracranial pressure. It can cause increasing breathing, increasing sweating. It can also cause giddiness, nausea, fatigue. It can cause sleep disturbance and visual disturbance. Besides affecting health, it is significant factor in economic losses. Then effect on other animals and other living things. It can be felt on animals, birds, mice, fish, and domestic animals. They are susceptible to various effects of due to due to exposure to noise levels, they change their places. Birds avoid migrating to places where noise level is above 100 decibel. The noise emissions, which is caused by supersonic aircraft, railway noise emissions, etc., may cause miscarriages in mammals and fishes. So these are effects on animals and living organisms. Then effects on non-living things. The high intensity explosion can break the glass panes and can vibrate the buildings. The noise booms can cause cracks in national and archaeological monuments, as well as the high levels of noise are the cause of cracks in the hills. This is the WHO pyramid of noise. On the x-axis, there is the number of people affected, and y-axis, severity of noise. At the bottom, there is a feeling of discomfort, disturbance, annoyance, sleep disturbance. As the severity of noise is increases, severity of sound is increases. There may be indication of some stress indicators like autonomous response, that is palpitation, sweating, or there may be stress hormone release. Then as sound increases, there may be people who having risk factors like blood pressure, cholesterol, blood clotting, or diabetes. They may have some adverse effects. Then as sound increases, there may be diseases like insomnia and cardiovascular diseases. And at the high level of sound or noise levels, there may be mortality. So this is the pyramid of noise. Then how to control this noise? So first is careful planning of cities. So division of cities into separate zones. Second is planting trees in and around sound generating sources. It is an effective solution for noise pollution. Then widening of main streets to reduce noise penetration. And control of vehicles. Heavy vehicles should not be allowed in residential areas. Pressure horns should be prohibited. Traffic should be reduced. Regular servicing and tuning of automobiles can effectively reduce the noise pollution. And third is improve acoustic insulation of buildings. That is construction of detached buildings and soundproof rooms. Then fourth way is industries and railways. Control of noise at the source where noise is coming, where from noise is coming. So protective green belt must be laid. Then protection of exposed person, the ear protection for all persons who are exposing to more than 85 decibel sound and more than 150 hertz. Periodical audiogram should be checked up. Then use of ear plugs and ear muffs. And there should be some legislation. Many states have adopted legislation like Chandigarh government bans the use of firecrackers with high decibel levels. In legislation, the Central Pollution Control Board constituted a committee. The Central Pollution Control Board constituted a committee on noise pollution control. The committee recommended the noise standards for ambient air, for automobiles, domestic appliances, and for construction equipment, which were later notified in Environment Protection Rules, which is given in 1986. Then there are silence zones, and these are referred as the areas up to 100 meters around the premises as a hospital, educational institutions, and courts. Use of vehicular horns, loudspeakers, burstings of crackers shall be banned in these zones. Then public address system. The license must be obtained by all parties intending to use loudspeakers for any occasion. Loudspeakers should not be used at night between 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. except in closed premises. Loudspeakers should be directed at the audience and not away from audience. That is not towards the neighborhood. Loudspeakers should not be allowed for advertisement and commercial activities. The permitted strength of power amplifier should be just adequate to cover the audience, and noise level beyond the boundary limit of noise source premises should not be increased by more than 5 decibel above the ambient noise level. Then aircraft operations. Aerodrome should be located away from the city. Aeroplanes should take off in direction of radially away from the city. During boarding and unboarding operation, the plane should be sufficiently away from the airport buildings. Nighttime operation should be minimized. And during maintenance and repair of the aeroplane, workers should use earmuffs. Also, portable silencers should be used in the plane. Then burning of crackers. Manufacture and sale of crackers having impulsing noise of more than 90 decibel at 5 meters distance from the site of bursting should be banned. Manufacture and bursting of joint crackers should be banned. And burning of the crackers during night between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. should be banned. And bursting of crackers may be permitted only during public festivals. Then there are some criminal procedure code and noise controls. Then there should be awareness programs to control the noise pollution. So thank you. If any doubt, you can call me or message me personally. Thank you.